says Brittany up there. Good morning. I guess that's my cue. Welcome, everyone, to our 2022 rep webinar. I'm Nick Manning. I'm the president of Prier, and I'm going to get us started. So hopefully by the end of this thing, you'll know a little bit more about our plans for the year, learn a little bit more, and celebrate a little bit with us. So this is great. So first, initially, I'd like to start just by thanking you guys, thanking our reps. You are our extension of Prier on the streets. You bring our eyes and our ears to the street, letting us know what's going on in your markets, what's going on with our competitors, and what we need to do to be successful. We value you. We celebrate your successes. You know, whenever a rep has their best month ever, everybody knows it. We celebrate that. Whenever we write a rep their biggest check ever, that's a big celebration for us. We celebrate that. We're committed to you. And we're committed to the rep as our means of distribution. You know, it seems like every 4 or 5 years there's a shakeup and some big company decides that reps don't make sense anymore. We're committed to the rep. So we're going to be with you guys as long as you'll have us. So a couple things here, a little housekeeping. If you have any questions through the process, go ahead and type them in the chat or the Q&A. Brittany will be keeping an eye on that, and we'll touch base on questions at the end. So that's what we'll do, and we'll go ahead and get started here. So first, I want to introduce our executive team. Most of these people you know. So Joe Poskin is our CEO. Joe couldn't join us today. He usually comes in at the end and gets pretty emotional, so that won't happen. So you don't have to worry about that. We'll miss Joe. Myself, Bryce Williams is our CFO. Scott Brady is our R&D manager. Brady Poskin is our vice president of manufacturing, and Matt Lemke is our vice president of sales. Brady won't be here today. He's in Jackson Hole, so nobody has any sympathy for him right now. But Carlos, his manufacturing manager, his plant manager will be talking for us here. So you'll get all the good information. All right, this is the state of Prier. This is our beautiful building. We love coming here every day. So as it says here, where we've been, where we're headed, and how we're going to get there. My nature isn't to look back, my nature is to look forward, but they asked me to talk a little bit about 2021. And I know when I was looking at my notes from last year, I said, boy, 2020, we learned a lot. We don't want to experience that again. I think I could probably just copy and paste that into this one, because 2021 was another strange year for not only for us, but our entire industry. 2021, though, we achieved growth again. So again, we had our best year ever. So it's great to keep celebrating those successes. We feel like through the year, we further solidified our relationships with some of the larger wholesalers in the industry. Matt will get into it specifically, but those large wholesalers paced our growth throughout the year. We continued to invest heavily throughout the year. One of the things, you know, through last year was we all had our supply chain challenges. And last year, we actually spent over double what we spent the year before just in freight, just in getting product here. When we started to read the tea leaves a little bit, we said, uh-oh, what's going on here? So we instructed our supply chain people to get inventory here. And that inventory costs money, and it costs money to get it here. So even though we had our best year ever revenue-wise, our profitability was not where it had been, but that was an open-minded compromise that we made. To service our customers, to service our mutual customers, to make us continue to hopefully be their best supplier. We're in pretty good shape for this year because of all that additional investment. Our year-end inventory was 70% higher than the end of 2021. Now the business guy in me says, I'd much rather have that in cash in the bank than on inventory on the shelf, but that just means we're in great position to jump into 2022. We had a price increase at the end of the year. We probably waited too long to have the price increase, and we will have another price increase in April. So we're working on that right now. So we'll let you know how it is. Again, we will do our best to keep our place in the market. We'll look at our competitors. We'll look at where we need to be as a business, and we'll adjust according to that. And then again, we finished our largest year ever in sales, and we're going to continue to reinvest in ourselves. And of course, you'll hear about each of that in the department's reports. So where we're headed? Well, certainly our number one priority is always safety. We want to keep our people safe. We want to keep you guys safe when you come in here. So that's how we continue to invest in safety and making sure people, we always say if they were nice enough to come in and work, we ought to be nice enough to send them back just as good shape than they were in. So we're doing safety on time and complete. 8 working hours is our goal. So we want to be 95% 8 working hours. So that means when you get an order here, if it doesn't ship probably by the next day, it's not on time. We want to be 95% on time. Because of all of our challenges last year, we did not do well enough. As we talked to our customers at the buying group meetings and some of the larger customers, and kind of quite frankly had our tail between our legs because we did not perform a quality like we thought. They kind of looked at us and rolled their eyes and thought, you guys are the least of our worries. So, I guess with comparing us to the rest of the industry, we did great. We did not do well enough for us. So we are, again, invested in that inventory. Each of our product lines on the plant floor where it's made has a safety stock goal. We're above our safety stock goals for this time of year. And probably by the end of February, we'll have almost 3 months of stock on the shelf to be able to get out to our customers. So we expect to be on time and complete. We don't have a crystal ball, unfortunately. So people will say, so what's going to happen if this? What's going to happen if that? We don't know. We don't know what tomorrow holds. We thought COVID would be gone. Not quite. We thought supply chain stuff would be taken care of. Not quite. But we're going to react to whatever happens the best way to service our customers. We're in the continuous improvement business still. That's part of the culture of our business. So if we have our best month ever in sales, we're going to high five, we're going to celebrate, and we're going to say, how do we do it more? We have our best month on the plant floor, we're going to high five, we're going to celebrate, and we're going to say, how do we get more? Doesn't necessarily mean people need to work any harder, but we just need to invest in ways to get better. We're in the continuous improvement business. We're going to bring out, Carlos, I'm sure will talk about, we're adding lines on the plant floor for hot and cold valves. That hot and cold business continues to grow, so we're going to make it unique to that. We're going to grow our top line sales through the year with profitable sales, improve our efficiency, improve our quality, improve our safety. We still need to grow the commercial side of our business. That's a big opportunity, and of course, that's a higher commission rate for you. So we're going to focus on that. We're going to continue to have new products, and then we're going to continue to have acquisitions in our business, either inside or outside of Prier. So we made an acquisition of Stern Williams at the beginning of last year. We're looking at other opportunities for our businesses, again, both inside and outside of Prier. So you can count on that from us. And then, of course, how are we going to get there? Well, as I showed you the executive team, and then as we go through the rest of the presentation, the department managers will show you their teams. They're really, really good. So we're excited that they're going to help pace our growth and take some of the ideas that we have and some of the ideas that they have, bring them to fruition and make us a better business. And then we're going to continue to invest our profits back in the business. As we've always done, we'll continue to do that. So again, thank you. I'll be back at the end to answer any questions that you might have. Looks like there's over 100 of you out there right now. So I'm going to go ahead and pass it on to R&D. Nope. To G&A. Oh, well. Bryce, here's Bryce.
All right, good morning, everyone. Thank you, Nick. Nick, I'm Bryce Williams. I am our CFO. Been here just over a year, but this is my first rep webinar. So thank you for having me. Welcome, everybody. First, I want to thank everyone for your partnership and helping Prier grow. 2021 was an interesting year for a few reasons, both inside Prier and our growth outside of Prier as well. Some lessons learned there, and we continue to focus on improvement and ways to get better next year. I want to take just a moment to introduce my team. Emily Kallstrom is our senior accountant. Pam Williams is our accounts payable specialist. Melinda Heston is our staff accountant. Heather Wild is a new staff accountant that just joined. And then Karen Delisio is our HR coordinator. Again, I'll be brief, but thank you again for your partnership with Prier and looking forward to a successful 2022. And now it's time for R&D, and here's Scott Brady. Thank you.
Thank you, Bryce. Hello, everybody. My name is Scott Brady. I'm the R&D manager here at Prier. So I've been here about 7 years now, but this is our staff. I'm sure I've met most of you over the years. We do still include Joe Poskin as part of our R&D team because he has just a lot of product knowledge from all of his years here. The other guys on the team there are John Nance. He's been here almost 5 years now, probably. Then we've added Zane Teague and Emmanuel Berhay just in the last year, 6 months to a year. And we're actually looking for another engineer right now. So we just want to keep growing. And, our main mission is to develop new products, but we do work with a lot of you guys when there's ever issues out in the field. So I'm sure you've had conversations with us or met us or worked together on some different things. So I'm going to go through some of the new products that we've either just launched or getting close to launching. So this first one you've all seen before. I know that our marketing team has already launched this. We're already selling a few of these, but we have the sanitary roof hydrant. Couple things to note maybe is, the ASSE standard for this product is a little bit different than our other standards. This is a 1057 type product, which might be important when you're talking to customers. And this product will be NSF 372, which is a lead-free standard. Sometimes we just say products are lead-free, and they are lead-free, but this actually proves it. It's a standard that you have to meet and go through all the regulatory issues and paperwork and applications and all that. So a lot of your customers might be looking for that 372 mark on there. And then also, of course, the ground version of P360. Small valves. We did launch these a year or two ago, kind of missed the mark on the market because they weren't lead free. So now the next round here very soon is a lead free version. And we've also added an internal vacuum breaker. So that's why the nut on some of these different bodies is a little bit taller. If you look down in the lower right-hand section of your screen there, you can see we have a vacuum breaker inside the body of the device instead of on the outside. A lot of customers were looking for that, which makes it a 1011 device, ASSE 1011. This will also be an NSF 372 type product. And here's just a few of the different bodies that will be available. There's some additional ones, boiler drains, flanges on the no kink, stuff like that, lots of different inlets. So there'll be a lot of different options for the customers on this one. This is a narrow wall commercial hydrant, so it won't go on the outside of a building, it'll be inside. In talking to different engineering groups, whenever we're doing research and going to ASPE meetings and stuff like that, this is a product that they said is needed in the market. So we got working on it. We're going to have two different versions. One will be a cold only. It's kind of toward the right-hand side of your screen. And we decided to add a hot and cold version. So that's very narrow, has to fit, inside a normal 2x4 wall. And then the box on this will be stainless steel, and you can orient it different directions, depending on, the needs of the customer and how the plumber wants to install it. And then the last one to show you, this is an old product. You've seen it for decades. And we've kind of been tweaking it here and there. Just not too long ago, the picture on the left, we removed the little plastic pieces and springs that were in the hose piece. That was a backflow preventer, which we already had on the rear end or the inlet end of the product. So we've changed that, and then just recently, or we're getting ready to, you can see it's just a model right now. We're going to move the vacuum breaker up closer to the body. We think it'll look a lot nicer. It'll make it easier to service. It should work just as well. So that's really all I have, I believe, for new products. Okay, now I'm going to turn it over to Carlos. He's our plant manager. Carlos?
Thank you, Scott. Well, I'm doing the presentation for Friday. I'm Carlos de Zamacona, plant manager. The other members of the manufacturing team is Paul Anderson, director of supply chain, and Beth Westmoreland is quality manager. And that picture is showing some of the guys that we promoted last year. Brock Ward as a warehouse supervisor, and the others as our lead, our new leads, Milton Brown, Treon Robinson, Luis Rodriguez, Terry Cole, and Christopher Bridgeford. As mentioned before, in 2021 was a very special year due to the COVID and global change issues, supply chain issues. Those problems gave us an opportunity. One was how are not going to run out of inventory and supply orders to the customers on time was a very great challenge. And some of the things that we did was trying to produce I have a more flexible manufacturing process where we're getting a flexible scheduling, working with suppliers, working with the customers. But knowing that the production associates and inventory are very limited resources, we develop a more flexible manufacturing process. We add more machines in our in the machining room. We add more resource in training to be able to use our associates in different lines on different stations. But also we add, for example, showing here, we add a new manufacturing strategy. We are supplying per job, knowing that the resources are limited. We are supplying only the materials that the guys will need for the orders. This will help us to avoid overproduction or underproduction and keep better care of the materials. Thanks of the integration of our engineering team and maintenance team with the production team, we develop a lot of continuous improvement projects to improve safety and to improve quality, as shown in this chart. And the plans for that's another example of the new projects and new toolings. And the plans for 2022 is we are working to build a new body line, working to build a new 108 line, and working to have another retail line, introducing a new technology. Now it's Matt.
Thank you, Carlos.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. A lot of great things on the manufacturing floor, including that new line, C108 line that Nick mentioned as well. So a lot of great things happening out there to improve not only service, but quality for sure. So first thing I want to do is thank you for all you've done for Prier. Like Nick mentioned, you're the feet on the street and closest to the customer. So we rely a lot on your input and your comments to us to make sure that we're doing the right thing and being the best manufacturer that we can be. I'll just mention, if you do have questions or such, just type those in and we'll answer those at the end. So as we go through here, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. So first I wanted to introduce our team again. We've got some changes. There's Scott, who probably never changes. And yes, he will talk about the Chiefs later. There it is. Angelo's been around for quite a while, but you can see a different title with Cheryl, who's been with Prier for about 2 decades, is earned some time to move to part-time. So Angelo is going to take her place as a customer service and product training manager, and he'll talk about that a little bit. Jeff's our marketing manager and works with Brittany, our marketing coordinator. So everything that you see customer facing, those two take care of that and do a great job. Wendy is our retail specialist. Keith is new to the customer service side, but he's been with Prier for a while. He's been out in the warehouse for a while. He's also been on the manufacturing floor, and we love having people that come up through the ranks and then have been other areas or other departments come over to customer service. They know a little bit more about Prier and can help the customer and you a little bit better. Angie's been with us for a while, continues in her role in customer service, and Austrey's been with us just over a year, and you can see her safety glasses on there. She came from the manufacturing floor and has been with Prier for a few years. So we've got a great team and a growing team. So also I should mention, we are going to fill back Angelo's role. So if you have a person that would fit that role that would live in Kansas City, we'd love to hear who that might be. So send those to me. So I will start with marketing, and I'm going to turn it over to Jeff, our marketing manager.
Hello, good morning, everyone. It's great to be here this morning. It's been a pleasure to meet some of you this year or this past year, and I know it's still been a challenge with COVID. So whether we met virtually or in person, it's been great to meet you. Just a few highlights from our end. We only get better when we listen to our customers. We listen to you, our reps who are out there in the field, and we listen to those who specify our products, such as engineers. And that's the only way we can get our products better. It's the only way that we can serve you better. So we did a lot of listening this year. We really appreciate your help with that survey that you completed. It gives us some good insight on where we want to spend our time, our efforts, and energy, and get you what you need in the marketplace. So thank you for that. As you know, there are plenty of resources that we provide you. Those are all in the rep portal. So be sure you go in there. Scott Brady just got done talking about the new roof and Barry. You're going to see some training materials in there for those products, training slides, flyers, various materials to help you get that product out in the market. If you need something else, just reach out to Scott or Angelo or even myself, and we'll be happy to help you with that. The other thing is, be sure to follow us on social media, on Instagram, on Facebook, on LinkedIn. I bet you'll learn something new from there. I always learn something new as we're putting those together, as we're working with either R&D or manufacturing team, something new about the product. So it's a great place to follow. It's also a great place to see leads, because those plumbers and those contractors and even some of the wholesalers, you'll see who's commenting and liking. So that's a great resource for you as well. As I was saying, we did some time listening. We talked with some engineers. We have a pretty good database of engineers. And here's what they're telling us, is that they're specifying post-threaded valves at least weekly, sometimes a few times a month. So that's a good sign that there are products being specified, and we are winning more of those projects. So that's great. They also are staying up to date just through various resources such as ASPE and trade publications. So we have conducted our codes training to about 300 engineers, thanks to our R&D team who has done that on a national level and has also done that at a regional level. I know they've worked with some of you in your local markets on that plumbing codes. So it's a great way. Engineers love education. They love to learn about what's going on. In terms of trade publications, we hit all the major engineering publications. You'll see our new products in there. They're usually featured, whenever we roll those out. So it's another great way. Lunch and learns, Matt will touch on that in a little bit. The other thing that we learned is what engineers like from manufacturers. They like to have sales reps engaged in that process. outreach, timely calls, access to a technical team. Good news is we have many of those. So our R&D team, they're always available for those questions, for those calls, video chats, whatever it is. Specs, IOMs, BIM, resources on websites. That's an area we focused on this year. If you haven't been to that section on our site, our R&D team spent some time updating all of those Rivet and BIM files to make it more friendly for the engineers and those that are working on those buildings. So that's had a pretty good overhaul. The other thing that we have provided, Master Spec went through a pretty big change in the last year through their partnerships with other entities and through a whole new platform. And so they're even adding more elements this year. So some of the things that you're going to see is more robust content, more photography in that. The great news is all of our products are on there. All of our commercial products are in that space. Engineers don't have to buy Master Spec to download it. They can download it for free. It doesn't cost them anything. They can download it into a Word document. And as that survey pointed out, many of them are using those documents in their specifications. So it's a wonderful resource. Make sure you're telling those engineers that you work with about it. It's probably a good thing for them to go back there too, just to see all the new products that we are providing. The other thing is the rep portal. So many of you use that. It's great. We are always adding information to that. If you need to get information, if you need content, we have a whole catalog in there of marketing products. So be sure to go in there, look for that. Plenty of resources. If you need more items, we're happy to provide those to you. And then finally, our catalog, our spring catalog, as Nick had mentioned, we're working on that. Brittany's done a great job laying that out. We are getting very close to releasing that. We'll get it up on the site, get your hard copies in the mail. We know that's a great resource as you go out there to the field. So appreciate everything you've done, appreciate your partnership, and I will turn this back over to Matt.
Thanks, Jeff. Jeff and Brittany do a great job. And I just mentioned that Master Spec platform. They've got a lot of great images in there and all the information that any engineer or architect would need. So I'm going to move on to sales. Whoops, I went a little bit fast here. Again, I did. Some of the things that we reached out and asked reps is how we can help you. So one of those things you can see samples, cross sheets, meetings, promotions, incentives. So I'll just tick them off here. Samples for reps. We've increased our budget for samples. So, and we've got a lot of new products and a lot of products that have been launched in the last couple of years. And you haven't been able to get in front of a wholesaler because of the inability or them shutting down or not taking visitors. So reach out to Scott and Angelo or myself for samples. And we'll coordinate how we get those to you and move those around. So that's great. Cross sheets, a lot of you have asked for those from our December price adjustment. Just let you know, we will update those when the next price adjustment comes out here in March. So those will be updated, and I know Jeff and Brittany are involved in that as well. More meetings and calls with engineers. Jeff mentioned it there. Engineers want more time with the rep. I know sometimes that doesn't feel like it, but they do want more time. And a couple of those places to do that are those ASPE luncheons or associations and such. So we are here to support you with that, either in person or virtually, to help you with those meetings and calls. Promotions, we're going to talk about that in a bit, and same with incentives as well. So hopefully we will help you do the great job that you do even better. Nick mentioned this about wholesale driving our growth this year. I wanted to touch on our buying groups, obviously part of iMark. They have continued growth and adoption into Prier. I just talked to somebody in Houston just a few minutes ago, and who does not sell Prier today, but would like to and wants to because they are in the iMark buying group. Last year, we had 69 gain share members. They get additional rebates on top of the normal rebates. And most of the time they're double dipping. So that's even better. And that number should even be higher this year. So we're going to let you know who is in and who is not, so that we can move that forward. Gain share members outgrow a member that's not in gain share. So we can talk to you about what that program is and what the benefits are. XTeach is another platform that iMark has launched. We're putting selling videos on there. How that's used in an iMark branch is normally a branch manager or the owner of that wholesale group might have set aside timing for training in their branches. And then one of the things that we find is with the turnover at the wholesale level, at the branch level, so high, they need training. So those selling videos and training videos are out there on XTeach so that they can help teach their people a little bit more about Prier and how to sell it at the counter. Prier Direct, this is a set aside for all those that aren't in iMark and AD, and there are a few. We do have a direct rebate program, so reach out to Angelo and Scott for that, or myself. AD, continued growth. Man, they are growing quite a bit. Some of that is come because of members are moving from Commonwealth into AD. So that is growing quite a bit, double digit this past year. They have growth bonuses for each member, and they will also have an April promotion here. Nick also mentioned national accounts. Boy, they are growing, all of them in double-digit territory. Ferguson, our largest national wholesaler, had 12% growth last year. Some of the things that we're working with them, and they're about ready to place an order to put commercial stock in select DCs so that we can better serve the customer. We have some commercial out there, but it's never the right amount or sometimes not the right SKUs. So we want to make sure that we're helping them out so that that contractor can have the product very quickly and hopefully within the next day or two. Now, Ferguson is changing a little bit, and I would say they're adding more DCs. So you're going to see that in the future as well. We have strong connection with their corporate office. I talk to them almost weekly, and we have strong support from corporate. In fact, what they would like to say is, obviously, they're going to sell ProFlow first, but then right after that is Prier. They would rather not sell Woodford. Marketing co-op available. I know some reps have taken advantage of this last year, from either a lunch all the way to, we did a football game, Cardinals and Packers last year, targeted some great contractors and plumbers in the Phoenix area. That is open for you as well. Wind Supply had great growth last year. We're looking at which product is stocked in their DCs and looking at the right amounts there as well. When I met with Bruce here a couple months ago, we talked about the large amount of irrigation business that they do at Wind Supply. So that irrigation valve looks like it would be a great opportunity in the Wind Supply area. There is a March conference that Wind Supply is having. We have about 60 branch meetings, one-on-one branch meetings. We'll let you know whose they are and then the notes that come from that. And that's really important that you and I have that dialogue so that we can give you some an opportunity at the branch level. Hajoka, it's kind of odd, but they are the largest dollars per branch of national wholesalers. It's kind of a sleeping giant, if you will. We enjoy a VIP vendor status with them and are increasing that relationship. So that's getting better and better all the time. They will also have a March promotion with Hajoka that did okay last year. We think it'll be even better this year. Speaking of promotions, in the past year, we've always had a spring promotion, a stock up promo focused on the core items. But we have limited it to either certain SKUs, certain lengths, certain inlets. And what we did was we listened to you and we listened to the wholesalers and opened it up to everything. We also had discounts on just certain SKUs, but then back end rebates. It became a little bit more confusing as to how much did I get back? So what we did is we took away the rebate and put it into the discount. So you'll see a volume discount is deducted on the invoice, and it'll apply to all orders and all products. So 2,500 net or above gets 5% off, and you can see the other things here. Those are some pretty hefty discounts, but it is on all products and all orders. So we think that'll be really well responded to. Plant tours and virtual meetings, Jeff touched on this a little bit, but plant tours, we feel it's really beneficial and eye-opening for your customers to be here and see how Prier is made, see what quality systems and processes that we have in place, but even more important, the quality people that we have here. I haven't been on a tour where where a person has walked away impressed at how Prier does manufacturing here. And we do a great job of that, including either an activity and such around that plant tour. So reach out to Scott, myself, and we'll take care of you on that as well. Various resources that we also have for lunch and learns. We have the codes webinar that we've done in the past, hydrant types, who's Prier. We're available either in person or virtual on any of that. Just reach out to your regional and we'll take care of you there. A couple other things. So there's commercial growth. We feel this is really underserved and has a big opportunity. We've got some great products. Scott talked about the narrow wall commercial and some other items like the P156 and that exposed pipe Silcock that came out last year. That's on the Kansas City airport. We think there's really big opportunity on the commercial side. And most of you had said, well, it needs to be in the specs. Well, on master spec, like Jeff mentioned, they can download it into their Word document, or if they have the subscription, they can go in and spec it by or take out the spec for each of the individual items. They don't have to be a licensed user of master spec, and half of the engineers out there use a Word document. So let's guide them to master spec and do what they call a family download and put it in their Word document so that we can get it spec. You can see some of the growth in certain SKUs out here. The 156, it's new, so it's going to have huge growth, but the 634 had nice growth, and that hot and cold 754 also did as well. I talked about Ferguson and Win Nelson and their stocking plans. I'm working with them every week on how we can get the right product in the right DCs at the right time to help you out. Residential continues to grow. Some of the new items that are out there, the 114 had great growth. 118s continue to grow. We talked about C108. The growth here has required us to put in a new line that Carlos talked about, and we think that will help us serve you better and serve our customers better as well. That shower attachment has done really well, and so on. So even the small valves that Scott said we maybe missed the mark a little bit, that has seen great growth, and now that we have the lead-free that's coming out soon, we think that should take off as well. You look at most of our sales come north of the Mason-Dixon line. The products that you saw earlier, that is going to help out in the mild climate side. So we think we have a good selection of products that can hit all types of customers throughout the US and Canada. So I'm going to turn it over to Angelo, our customer service and product training manager. All you, Angelo.
Thank you, Matt. Hello, everyone. As Matt has mentioned, I think a couple times during this presentation, I am changing roles. Now, with that being said, for the reps that I am partnering with, you guys can still rely on me. I'm happy to help you. I know we're in a moment where we're trying to still track down that new regional to fill my shoes. And if I do say so myself, they are big shoes to fill, but we are most definitely happy still to help you. So don't think that I've left you in the dust. I'm going to do my best to help you as I'm also transitioning to this new role. So, one of the things that Matt mentioned was, part of my new role is not only on the customer service side, but it's also the product training aspect of it. And we've already begun doing a little bit of this. You know, as we launch a new product, we want to get out there. We want to talk about, you know, here's features, here's benefits. So you guys have the information that you need to go sell the products in your market. I believe Jeff had mentioned earlier, you know, we're going to load some of this stuff into the rep portal. Well, that's great to have, you know, the documents and the slides, but do you really know the talking points? And, you know, do you know how to hammer this home? What makes this different than what's out there in the market today? Or does this even exist in the market today? We want to give you those tools and those resources and that knowledge. And so that's one of the things that we're going to continue to highlight as we move forward is product training. So that is going to focus on new products, but that's not limited to the new products. Should you want a little bit more of an insight on a particular product, say, you know, I'd like to learn a little bit more on these P164, these little quarter turns. We got some interest here with some folks. What makes yours different than what? Let us know. Reach out to Scott or I. You know, we're happy to dive into that. We can either do a presentation for all reps to join in, or if we want to do a virtual one-on-one with a certain rep agency. Again, our job as a manufacturer is to give our reps the tools that they need to do the job that they want. So we are happy to assist you in any way. And, you know, we can do this in any avenue that best fits you. And if we wanted to take it a step further and we wanted to do kind of a customer thing too, let us know. We can hop on a Zoom call or a Teams call, and we can loop that in, and we can do it a 5-10 minute little spiel on, hey guys, here's what we think is really going to do well in your market. Here's some of the features and the benefits. Again, we want to make your job as easy as possible. So product training is something we will continue to move forward with, and feel free to reach out if you feel that you want additional insights on certain things, because we're happy to dive into whatever we need to and go from that avenue. You know, the second part of my job is the customer service role. And, you know, what that entails for you guys is, you know, once you send an order in, your customer sends an order in, our job is to get it entered quickly and get it shipped quickly. You know, we are still holding true to our 8 working hours of receiving and entering a PO to shipment. That means that when a order comes in, we want to get it entered as quickly as possible. And in most cases, we are doing that within a day. So as soon as we receive that PO, we have it entered into our system in less than a day. And from that moment, it's shipping from the factory. So our job as customer service is to do this as quickly as possible. We have a great team that works on order entry. That is what they focus on all day, as long as also fielding calls for inquiries and things of that. We most definitely are focusing on this. On the screen right here, you're going to see ordering best practices. You know, there's a lot of information here, but really what we want you to know is if you should have any special requests, if you have any special pricing things that you want us to know, please let us know as quickly as possible. We're going to move forward with kind of a standard process until we hear otherwise from you. If you need a special thing to ship quickly, if we have it in stock, we're going to help you. If we need to get it out next day air, believe me, we can do that too. If it's on the shelf, we will do our best to get it over to UPS, FedEx. Typically, we're going to cut off around 1 o'clock with those notifications. But guys, we want to help you. If that product's sitting on the shelf, we're going to do our best to get it out immediately. So a lot of the things you're going to see up here, this just helps us make sure that we're giving you and your customers prompt order entry and making sure we're getting things done the right way. So if there's anything special, please let us know what we need to do to assist you and your customer with their order. Now, with that being said, we're ready for the big part of the show here. This is what many of you are holding out for, is the awards. So we most definitely are very honored. I think Nick had highlighted on it earlier. We love our reps. You know, for us, that rep connection is what makes us so, you know, it's such a vital piece of the manufacturer and wholesaler connection. You guys are the ones that are giving us those partnerships, those relationships. So we applaud you all in all your efforts to help Prier be the best that we can and communicating with us. But with that notion, we have a couple select reps that we want to highlight today. And one of the ones that we want to start with is our Impact Award. So the Impact Award is something that's voted on by the sales, customer service, and marketing team. This is an agency that is out there promoting Prier, and they're making a difference. You know, they have a high growth rate over a previous year that we're hearing from them on a regular basis. We see that they're clicking on our marketing things. When an email gets sent out, there's a lot of metrics that we're looking at regarding what makes them an impact, what makes them so special in what we're doing on a day-to-day. And this year for 2021, we would like to honor the Pointer Agency. Yeah, there you go. So that's going to be, you know, Ty Beckham and Zach and Andy and Brian, Richard, Elizabeth, you know, that whole team over in Georgia have been representing Prier for about 5 years now. And, you know, I'm going to be honest, Georgia is a heck of a market. They're very price focused, you know, on the residential. And, you know, Ty and them have kind of went after every opportunity we could for the longest time. And, you know, we kept running into walls. And, you know, for their agency, they've kind of made a shift in the last couple of years, and they're continuing to make that adjustment. And they're going to be a specific commercial focus. You know, we're not completely going to not look at residential, but there are a heavy focus on commercial, and it is making a difference in their market. I mean, they were number 2 on our rankings for growth over the previous year out of all of our reps. They grew by 49% over the previous year. And the goal that we set, and as you guys know, we have aggressive goals, they were 118% of their goal that we had set for them. So they did an amazing job in 2021. We applaud the Pointer Agency, and we feel they're going to continue to do well over in the Georgia market. Thank you all for all your efforts in getting that going in that market. The next awards go to our President's Club. So these are 3 of our top weighted average rep agencies that we are focusing on, and this is going to be based on sales, overall sales. It's going to be based on, you know, hitting their goal, where they are on that goal structure that we set, and their growth over the previous year. We're taking all those metrics. We have a weighted scale that kind of help us, and we look for those top cream of the crop rep agencies that are hitting a lot of those fields. So the first one that we're going to highlight today is going to be PSI. So PSI is our rep in Oklahoma and Arkansas. They are our oldest rep agency. We're going right around 70 years. I don't know if we know the exact number, but it's pretty darn close. You go back 70 years, and sometimes it's kind of hard to find that exact date for that contract. But Jimmy, his dad Jim, and their grandfather, I mean, it goes way back generationally. But you got Jimmy and Tommy and Kathy and Jim still helping out. And now we also have Logan. Logan is the next generation of the Duns that is moving in to kind of take them into that new era. And guys, our oldest rep is still hitting their highest numbers today. I mean, they had an amazing 2020. They blew that out of the water by 21%. They grew 21% over 2020, which was their best year. They were 102% of growth on their goal that we had set. And, you know, honestly, they have a lot of potential still. They have a new DC for wind supply that's getting built in Oklahoma City. We got still Ferguson opportunities. They got some independents that are still getting traction and growing. We think we're only going to continue to go up here with PSI. We congratulate all of you for a great job well done. Thank you all very much for all your efforts at PSI. I'm going to turn it over to Scott, and he's going to take us home here.
All right. Thank you, Angelo. How appropriate that we have these awards on a Chiefs championship weekend. So congratulations, PSI, on the first of our President's Club. The next President's Club award goes to Spike Lingle, Edward B. Lingle Company. Congratulations, Spike and John King. What a tremendous year you guys had. 20% growth in 2021. Just remarkable. They've also hit into the $2 million tier. So they are really getting it done in New England and the Boston market area. So another thing that we would say about Spike, how has he done this? He is the king of silkcocks. So Spike sells more C135s, 155s, 255s than anybody out there. While New England's a frost-proof area, Spike sells a lot of non-frost-free sill faucets. Fantastic job. Really appreciate your hard work and great job. The next winner is going to be Novell Sales. So another fantastic agency. So Joel and his team cover the New York City Metro. And so that's Long Island, Northern New Jersey, and the 5 boroughs. And they've done a fantastic job. So thank you very much, Joel, Kyle, Jerry, Leo, and Kevin. Great job, guys. Really love working with you. 27% growth in 2021. And primarily that was a couple new additional add-on customers that we got converted this year. And those conversions will lead to a great future. So fantastic job. The last award that we have is going to be our Dick Hodis Rep of the Year award. So that's the Rep of the Year, and that's measured by a weighted average of overall sales, growth over last year, and percent of goal. And our this year's winner is going to be NORPAC in the Pacific Northwest. Fantastic job, Tom, Ryan, Brian, and Dave Souther. Fantastic job, guys. This is a third-time winner. They've been a fantastic agency for us for 20 years, and third time being the Rep of the Year. And of course, they eclipsed the $2 million sales plateau as well. So fantastic job, and see a lot more potential still in your area. So now that we've covered all these, the Rep of the Year and Rep awards, I'm going to turn it back over to Nick, and then also going to tell you, go Chiefs! That's right. We're going to be a big weekend. Thank you.
All right, so questions. So we've got a couple for one. Let me see here. One, there's some stuff in the chat. All right. So Tom Hagenson asked about considering master packs, C108s, and 6-packs. So we're thinking like a bulk pack, Tom. We could certainly look at that. We haven't done that, and then I would think if you're looking for a bulk pack, are you looking for ease for the contractor? Are you looking for saving money? Whatever it's at, but I know Carlos and his team's holding that, and we'll see maybe what makes sense for us. One of the challenges we have when you start offering valves packaged different ways is just managing your inventory right. So there's certainly been times where somebody's ordered bulk and we've got no bulk on the shelf, but a bunch of box, and we might say, hey, would you take the box at the same price? So if they're looking for dollar savings, we can look into that. So I appreciate that. It's from Wayne Philpotts. Where he talked about Wayne joined us last week. We had a great tour and lunch. It was exciting. Wayne's daughter actually was named academic first team All-American. So that's pretty amazing. And they were in town for a soccer coaches event. She will graduate in May from Wisconsin, Milwaukee. So congratulations to Wayne and Carl and their team for sure. Bengals. Canadian version of the catalog from Brad Goodman. I don't know. So what I'd say is certainly for us, we will make a Canadian version of the catalog digitally. I'm not sure what that entails, if that's a language change and that kind of thing. Certainly, we need probably something like that to be as effective as we want to be. So Tom, I got a note passed to me that Tom wants for the C108 individual boxes and cases. All right, Angelo's trying to give me the other stuff. Catalog, yeah. Also from Brad Goodman, can we leverage Ferguson, Wolseley, Hajoka, EMCO national programs in Canada? Well, so what I'd say is Wolseley in Canada and Ferguson in the U.S. are almost different animals. Same with, I'm not sure about Hajoka and EMCO, but what I will say is that as we've said all the time, if it makes sense for our business, we're going to do it. So if if it makes sense for our business to have some kind of Ferguson, Wolseley, or Hajoka EMCO national program in Canada, absolutely, we'll do that. I can promise you that. And those programs have made sense for us in the States. I don't know why they wouldn't make sense in Canada. And Tom, no still individual boxes and cases. Let's look at that. We'll look at that. I appreciate that. We'll go from there. That looks like it's all the questions. We committed to keep you an hour or less, so we're on there. I just want to finalize again by thanking you for everything you do for us on behalf of myself and our whole team here, and our CEO, Joe Poskin, who couldn't be with us today. Thanks for everything you do. You guys are so important to our success, and you're an extension of our mission statement. I know you've all read our mission statement, but there's a few things in there that you're huge extensions of. We want to be our customer's best supplier. We want to treat all of our relationships with respect and professionalism, and you guys do that too. So that's so important to us. So thanks very much. We appreciate your valuable time this morning with us. And as Scott might say,
Go Chiefs!
thanks.